Hey everybody, Fox Rose here, and today we're going to be doing something a bit different than usual. If you remember a few months back when I first tried to do the whole daily uploads routine thing, you would know that first off it didn't go so well, and the second thing is I tried to do an experimental video called video series called Fox Reviews. The first thing I reviewed was the anime Black Blood Brothers, which wasn't really a professional review if you ask me. I know it was supposed to be just off the top of the head, stuff like that, but I don't think it went over so well. So, what am I going to do instead? Well, that was the prototype. That was kind of like the pilot episode of all this. And seeing how it's still Digimon, I figure I would review a game that I've beaten from the Digimon series, and actually, just recently beaten too. So today, we're going to be reviewing Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth for the PS4. This is going to be an interesting kind of deal, I can already tell.
Fox reviews a motherfucking game. Yeah.
So first up, the story. The basic story is the main characters of the whole game, which are the person you play as, male or female, depending on which you chose. Nokia Shiramine, also known as Akino in the very beginning of the game, and Blue Box, also known as Arata Sanada, soon after you meet him in person, are all in a chat room with several other people that are just NPCs, really, kind of just explaining, like, basic Digimon knowledge. At least for their realm, it's basic knowledge. Which, in this world, Digimon aren't actual people in the beginning of the story. They're actual hacking programs used by certain villainous hackers or just hackers in general. And this concept, I think, was actually borrowed a little bit from a series of Digimon called Digimon Data Squad, where they would actually use Digimon that came across the boundary and use them for evil purposes, depending on what they were. And it's not far-fetched to believe either. I mean, I've seen stuff like that happen before in this series, and just seeing it in this game, just like, wow, that brings me back. So, back to the story. All of these people are just in the chat room when all of a sudden a floor pops up, well, a hole in the floor pops up from a hacker going by Mr. Navit, which is the mascot of the cyberspace realm, Eden. This hacker tells everyone in the chat room that they all need to be good boys and girls and show up to the specific place in Eden, or they will be hacked. Why he wants them to go there in the first place, he doesn't give a specific reason other than he has a good present for all of them. And if you think of it that way, it's a very interesting concept because a hacker just comes up in a chat room with probably just a bunch of teenagers in it and tells them that he has something for them. At first you would think, okay, this is definitely some kind of porno trick, ain't it? But no, that's not what happens here at all, which, personally, I am really glad about. After the whole crew arrives in the specific place known as Kowloon of Eden, they all obtain the Digimon capture program, they all split up, trying to find an exit out of this portion of Eden, and then, well, they find a abandoned exit after the main protagonist, you, obtain your first Digimon between a choice of Terriermon, Palmon, and Hagurumon. And from there, you try to find your way out of there. You do so with Arata's hacking skills as help, face a creature called an Eater, and let's just say that your body gets fucked up afterwards. And that's all I'm going to say about the story. If you want to see more, please check out the Let's Play that we're doing of the series right here. We currently are just starting Chapter 4, I believe. We should be starting Chapter 4 soon anyway. And it's going to be kind of an interesting, bumpy ride. I mean, what I just said was the whole prologue of the game. So, hopefully you guys check out the series. Next up is presentation. And the way this game presents itself is flippin' glorious. Well, gorgeous, really. For a PlayStation 4 ported game that was originally on the PlayStation Vita, I think it holds up pretty well, considering. I mean, yes, this game was originally on the Vita, but it wasn't until it was released to English-speaking countries that it was ported to the PS4. And I personally don't have a PlayStation Vita, so I pre-ordered the whole PlayStation 4 bundle, and I'm glad I did because I got the whole special pre-order bonus DLC. But the game plays phenomenally well, and I do mean phenomenally well. So, how does the game play exactly? Well, as you would expect, it's kind of your stereotypical JRPG. Well, classic JRPG anyway. Whole turn-based combat system, specific stats, able to put on gear to certain limits and everything. The whole 9 yards. Quests, story-driven gameplay, stupidly hard final boss. The list goes on. Anyways, and as you would expect, JRPG means that it's going to be a long game, and that is very true. It is a very, very long game. In fact, I didn't beat the game until this Friday, actually. Well, last Friday. As I'm recording this, it's the 23rd of February, 2016. And I beat it 4 days ago now, so, yeah. As for everything else in the game, it presents itself very beautifully. It looks sharp, the colors pop out at you almost instantly, the models look almost perfect. I've seen 1 or 2 glitches here and there. And everything else just seems fine by me for the visual aspect of it anyway. The audio aspect, oh my lord. I know I've said in the past that Kingdom Hearts is some of my favorite video game music in history, and this game is pretty close to it, actually. No joke, I've actually loved this game's music. A lot of people who have reviewed this game say that they hate the music, or it's not the greatest kind of music, but personally, I feel it's perfect for what the game is going for. And you guys are actually listening to the main battle theme right now, so I hope you guys enjoy that. I may throw in the boss theme later on when I do, like, something special, but I'm not gonna say what. But as it goes, you have the cases, you're supposed to save the world in most JRPGs, and that's still the case here. And then as for the kind of behind-the-scenes stuff for the JRPG of this game, yes, there's a portion where you have to grind. I know I had to a lot. But this game makes it a lot easier than most would expect, because it has a couple items called Brave Points. And how these items work is like E, D, C, B, A. And the lower the letter, the less experience it gives, but the higher the letter, the sooner the letter in the alphabet, the more EXP it gives. And yeah, they can get some pretty insane experience points from it. I think E gives like 2,500 points, whereas A gives like 40,000 points. So you can go up a couple levels pretty quickly. So what else about the game makes it unique? Well, unlike most like monster collecting games and monster raising games, this game provides itself with the Digifarm system. And how that works is, you have 3 places for your Digimon to go. The party, which you can have up to 11 people in the party memory allowing. The Digibank, which is basically like the PC system where nothing really happens, and you just have it for storage. Or 3, the Digifarm, which is kinda like the daycare in the Pokemon series, but not quite. It's actually a much better improvement over the daycare, if you ask me. And why might I say that? Well, solely because the Digifarm actually holds 10 Digimon per island. You can have up to 5 islands. And these can also get you extra cases for solving cases or quests in this game. They can also get you extra items, they can raise your Digimon's friendship and their experience points, and they're just great for training. They really are. because a lot of people will know that some Digimon games will have a system where you can train in a specific aspect of the games, and then you can go from there. And this game definitely appeals to that. As long as your ABI is high enough, you will actually get something useful out of it. And that concludes the whole thing on, like, the gameplay aspect of it. Now for my personal views and things on the game in general, because it's a review. Like, this whole thing is from me, so yeah. What are my personal experiences and thoughts on Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, with the exception of the music that I've already talked about? Personally, I think this is perhaps one of the best RPGs I've played in a long time. Not just a JRPG, but an RPG in general. Because the story is so laid out perfectly, the characters get a chance to actually develop, the gameplay is so smooth, it's like, I literally had one glitch occur in the whole game, and it was because of a stupid area of effect move called Gale Storm. Other than that, I had no glitches in this game whatsoever. Not a single glitch. And I can say that with a smile. But the game definitely has some faults, I won't lie about that. Like, I've heard some say that it's a great game to play, but if you're trying to just enjoy the story, you will have a hard time later on, because at a certain point in the game, which I am not going to say what point, but it is definitely the later half of the game, there is a boss that is stupidly hard, and I do mean stupidly hard. I was literally stuck on that boss for 1 week. 1 week. And keep in mind, I've played almost every single RPG game in the Digimon franchise since the beginning. The first Digimon game I ever played was Digimon World 1, and that is by far one of the hardest games in the franchise. And I had a stupidly hard time facing this. What the fuck? Spade knows what I'm talking about. In fact, if he was doing a Let's Play of it, I'd say go watch his Let's Play of it, which I would be putting up right here. Sorry, camera's flipped. If you would want to see him play it, just go check it out right here, is what I would love to say, but he doesn't have a Let's Play of it going. So instead, when I get to that point, I will put an annotation right up there. So, hope you look forward to that. Other than that, I've already talked about how the characters develop and everything. It's definitely not a hard game as a whole. I mean, if it weren't for that one boss, I probably would have beaten this game within 2 weeks. I didn't beat it until 3 weeks after getting it. So, but other than that, it's a great game. The whole thing plays fantastically well on the PlayStation 4, and this is easily one of the best Digimon games I've ever played in my life. And if you're looking to get into the Digimon franchise and you want a good JRPG from any of the English games, not saying you can't buy one of the Japanese ones, I just say I'm pro-English. Even if it's a patch on the game, I'm pro-English. I don't even have a gaming PC, so that's why I say it like that. But anyways, if you're looking to get into any of the Digimon games at all, I definitely recommend this, because it's an easy to pick up and play game. The mechanics are easy to figure out and learn. Everything is given to you basically right off, and yeah, there are some challenges in it, but it's nothing without a little learning to do. And one aspect of that is basically the typing situation, because it does kind of a Pokemon kind of deal with it. Not saying what exactly, but it's kind of an interesting kind of deal with it, that's all I can say. But yeah, those are my personal thoughts and opinions on Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. And that concludes the review. Overall, if I had to give this game a blank out of 10, which I'm going to be doing out of 10 on this series, I would say 8.5 out of 10. The game is just too solid to not give that much, but a lot of the fun stuff about it, not just the fact that it's an RPG and it's fun that way, but the more fun aspects of it, like getting the boss characters that you fight later on as your own allies, it doesn't come until after you beat the game at least once, and you have to beat the final boss in order to do it. And the final boss is an asshole! Spade, when you see this guy, you will be like, Fox was right. Fox was fucking right. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you liked the video. If you liked the video, hit the like button, comment in the comment section with all your tips, tricks, and all that shite. Subscribe if you're new, favorite the video if you want. Who the hell favorites videos these days? And as always, rock and roll, dudes and vixens! This is just a random outtake, but here's my cat. Yes, Bumpy, I know. Everyone that I've met online has always been wondering about the cat. And I'm not lying. Black loaf of bread. See? Weird ass cat, I tell ya. I'm not lying about that either.